Would you like to encourage students to take more intellectual risk or to engage in problem solving about class issues or concerns? What were your experiences in creating a classroom environment where all students were willing to share their thoughts? Did you find that some students were reluctant to engage in the discussion? This module provides strategies and tools that teachers can use to develop classroom environments that are inviting for students and offer students the opportunity to develop the social and personal competencies they need to co-create a warm and supportive classroom. Through effective use of warmth and support strategies, teachers will form positive student-teacher relationships and facilitate adaptive peer relationships for the classroom context. Student-to-student and student-to-teacher relationships are critical for student success in school. However, not all students feel cared for or as though they trust each other. In a 2013-14 survey administered to almost 90,000 Tennessee middle and high school students, 33% of the students agreed or strongly agreed that the students in their school respect each other's differences. 34% agreed or strongly agreed that students in their school trust each other, and 39% of students agreed or strongly agreed that students at their school cared about each other. Although there appears to be a lack of trust or concern among student-student relationships, the story is slightly better for student-teacher relationships, where 75% of students agreed or strongly agreed that they had at least one teacher who cared about them, and 59% agreed or strongly agreed that they had at least one teacher who knew them well. As teachers, we can create a positive classroom climate and culture for students to feel supported, cared for, and connected, which has a dramatic effect on students' social and personal competencies. So, what can you do about it? How can you help students learn to form more meaningful relationships in the classroom and create an environment that encourages trust, openness, and cooperation? This module will provide you with some strategies to consider, specifically in implementing effective warmth and support. Warmth and support strategies are integral for developing students' social and personal competencies, as positive and meaningful relationships are central to their overall development. Warmth and support strategies can and should occur throughout the school day as they create an environment where students know they are cared for, they feel valued, and they have regular opportunities and routines to be included and appreciated by their teachers and peers. Warmth and support is the fourth learning module in the social and personal competencies modules. If you have not already done so, you can review the Introduction to Social and Personal Competencies module to learn more about the goal and purposes of this series. Each of the 10 modules in this series addresses one of the 10 teaching practices that promote social and personal competencies as described in the Tennessee Toolkit called Incorporating Social and Personal Competencies into Classroom Instruction and Educator Effectiveness, a toolkit for Tennessee teachers and administrators. Warmth and support refer to the academic and social supports that students receive from their teacher and their peers. Characteristics of a warm and supportive classroom environment can include the following actions: creating an atmosphere for learning and personal development, promoting a sense of comfort and security, employing classroom procedures that meet the needs of all students, and providing opportunities for students to take responsibility, advocate for themselves, and become motivated to learn. If you have not already downloaded the handouts for this module, now is an excellent time to do so. You will be directed when to refer to each of them. When teachers use warmth and support strategies, they create an environment that affords each student the opportunity to demonstrate their value and importance to the classroom community. In a supportive classroom environment, everyone has the opportunity to develop meaningful relationships with peers and teachers. According to Hattie, building teacher-student relationships implies agency, efficacy, respect by the teacher for what the student brings to the class from home, culture, and peers, and recognitions of the life of the student, and generates an academic effect size of 0.72. An effect size greater than zero point 0.4 is shown to have a positive impact on student achievement. Each day, teachers establish a tone for individual and group interactions. This tone is accomplished as the teacher models the desired behaviors and acknowledges each student as they engage with each other. As students engage in individual and group activities, such as small groups, reading circles, and hands-on academic and social activities, the desired behaviors are encouraged and reinforced by everyone in the class. Moreover, in a warm and supportive environment, the students' comfort levels increase and they learn it is okay to ask questions and even to make mistakes. Through this module, you will learn how your implementation of warmth and support strategies can improve the overall classroom environment, as well as students' social and personal competencies, academic indicators, engagement, and connection to the school. This module gives you background information on how to develop a warm and supportive classroom where students feel comfortable engaging in classroom activities. In this module, you will learn the definition of warmth and support, identify warmth and support strategies as a best practice to support students' social and personal competencies, understand the benefits for students, and view video examples of Tennessee teachers using warmth and support strategies. You will also receive guidance on next steps. Latkowski and Ginsburg state that establishing a classroom tone that is friendly, caring, and supportive, and that lets students explore the relationship between course material and personal and social experiences enhances rather than undermines students' learning. As students experience a warm and supportive classroom with a student-centered curriculum, not only do they have a more positive and respectful learning environment, they will also learn how to apply knowledge to real-life situations and learn more competencies to help them be successful in school and life, such as communicate more effectively, provide quality feedback to others, consider the perspectives of other students, negotiate the sharing of resources and tasks, and deal with conflicts as they arise. A warm and supportive classroom also contributes to academic gains. For example, Rim Kaufman and Sandalos report that improving students' relationships with teachers has important, positive, and long-lasting implications for both students' academic and social development. Warmth and support strategies are reflected in the components of the Tennessee Educator Acceleration Model, commonly referred to as TEAM. For example, the TEAM Motivating Students component embodies effective warmth and support strategies because it encourages teachers to make content more relevant for students. This will require teachers to get to know and understand their students' interests and, when possible, embed some of the high-interest topics in their instructional practice. This module will help you learn how to use warmth and support strategies in a way that is consistent with the significantly above expectations category within the TEAM rubric. Before you get started, take a few minutes to reflect on how you use warmth and support strategies in your own classroom and the ways students react to it. If it is helpful, reflect on your use of warmth and support strategies in a recent class, one that you can easily remember. Otherwise, try to think more holistically about your use of warmth and support during a typical day. You can refer to Handout 1, Warmth and Support Self-Assessment, to reflect on how you implement warmth and support strategies in your classes. Now that you have reflected on your use of warmth and support strategies, take a deeper look at warmth and support in a Tennessee classroom. Select one of the short videos based on whether you are interested in viewing an elementary or middle school classroom. As you watch the video, pay close attention to the teacher's approach to implementing warmth and support strategies. Refer to Handout 2, See It in Action Reflections, Warmth and Support, for some questions to reflect on as you watch the videos. A warm and supportive educational environment is important to the development of social and personal competencies. Educators should make intentional efforts to build relationships between students and teachers and among students. Teacher-student relationships characterized by warmth, trust, and low degrees of conflict are associated with social competence and positive school adjustment. In a warm and supportive classroom, a student feels valued, heard, and safe. As you begin to implement warmth and support strategies in your classroom, there may be a need to design, test, and refine routines that best fit into your school culture. Moreover, there may be a need for differentiated levels of support to meet students' needs. A teacher may need to make an extra effort to develop a positive relationship with a shy student to encourage more classroom participation, include them in decision-making, and let them know their opinions and interests are valued. You can learn more about strategies in Handout 4, Reflection and Additional Information. There are multiple warmth and support practices that teachers can use to ensure that students feel safe, trusted, and valued in the classroom, as well as develop student social and personal competencies. The remainder of this module will go into more detail about specific practices and examples of warmth and support practices. In the remainder of this module, we will explore each of these 5 practices. Number 1, how teacher knowledge of each student and their interests contribute to learning. Number 2, how class activities can enable students to get to know and care about one another and their teacher. Number 3, how class meetings or advisory groups can be used to address common concerns and current issues. Number 4, how a supportive classroom environment contributes to student success. Number 5, how lessons that reflect students' interests can better engage students. The more you know about your students, the easier your job will become. This includes learning more about their learning styles, likes, dislikes, values, family, home environment, and cultural background. This knowledge will not only help you to better support your students in the classroom and build better relationships, but also has the potential to increase multiple social and personal competencies. For example, student self-awareness may increase when you ask them to explain their likes and dislikes and understanding what they do and do not know. In addition, students' social awareness improves when they share their interests with their classmates. Teachers can gain knowledge of their students through a variety of activities, such as games and themed assignments. For example, students create a postcard introducing themselves, a favorite vacation, a hobby, or a pet, which students can share or post on a bulletin board. Similarly, students could choose a historical figure and describe the social and personal skills that historical figure exhibited and why those skills were important. From an academic perspective, struggling students are more likely to seek help from their teacher if there is an established, positive relationship. Furthermore, highly effective teachers often view hallway or bus room duty as a time to informally interact with students, not just monitor student traffic and behavior. For example, greeting each child as they enter the classroom each day creates a way to develop a positive relationship with each child and a culture of open communication. When teachers use these opportunities for students to express themselves openly, students may feel more comfortable sharing their thoughts in the classroom and take intellectual risks as they have a deeper relationship with the teacher, knowing the teacher cares about and supports them. In fact, research suggests that teachers who support their work with a relational orientation and regularly engage students in conversations build expectations for future interactions and student success. Warmth and support practices also create an environment in which students learn from and care about one another. All teachers can integrate peer relationship building strategies into classroom instruction. However, the types of practices that teachers implement to build peer relationships can vary by grade level and depend on what social and personal competencies are the focus of the grade band. As with all new strategies or competencies, it is important to regularly reinforce the competencies that students need to engage in within your classroom. In elementary school classrooms, for example, teachers may help students develop skills to identify similarities and differences or develop perspective taking skills in which students compare and contrast likes and dislikes of students within the class, noting that not everyone has to like the same thing. Similarly, a teacher may ask students to describe the perspective of characters depicted in age appropriate stories or poems, such as describing the actions of characters in a story and why those characters made the choices they made. In middle school classrooms, for example, teachers may help develop targeted self awareness skills and problem solving skills. A teacher may ask students to reflect on how their behavior might affect others, such as their ability to actively listen in a classroom discussion. In addition, a teacher may implement mini lessons prior to students working in groups in which the students engage in a lesson about how to overcome misunderstanding within a group. In high school classrooms, for example, teachers may help students develop active listening skills, peer mediation skills, or respecting differences. A teacher may engage students in a debate about topics concerning school safety or analyze the historical roots of oppression and intolerance in a social studies class. The previous examples demonstrate that teachers can provide multiple opportunities to expand students' social and personal competencies, helping students form more meaningful relationships with one another in the classroom context. In addition, these examples showcase that students are continually expanding and developing their social and personal competencies within the multiple environments they interact in across time. To help you connect with and plan for the implementation of Tennessee's social and personal competencies using warmth and support practices, please refer to Handout 3, Planning for Warmth and Support, and the Tennessee Department of Education's K-12 Social and Personal Competencies Resource Guide. An effective warmth and support practice includes classroom meetings or advisories. Through participation in meetings, teachers and students can model, practice, and learn social and personal competency knowledge and skills. In addition, they provide students an opportunity to get to know each competency, build upon their strengths, develop intellectual and emotional risk-taking in the classroom, enjoy the classroom, and offer students a consistent, dependable opportunity to get to know themselves and each other. Morning meetings or advisories occur when a group of peers, or a small subset of peers, meet with a teacher or advisor in a low-pressure, supportive environment. A typical morning meeting or advisory period lasts for 20 to 30 minutes. They can set the tone for the day and foreshadow students' expectations for the week, providing opportunities for students to engage in community building activities, develop social and personal competencies, solve classroom or community problems, share information about each other, or share school events or news. Throughout morning meetings or advisories, teachers encourage students to take risks by asking questions, voicing concerns, and engaging in authentic problem solving in a safe environment, creating an environment where students feel comfortable engaging in content throughout the school day. Research demonstrates that students who engage in purposeful and meaningful morning meetings or advisory periods engage in respectful learning, develop trust, increase student motivation, develop empathy, and collaboration skills. These skills lead to increased connection to schools, ultimately leading to improved academic achievement. Multiple formats for morning meetings and advisories exist and have varying research behind them. One approach used by multiple social and personal competency programs includes 4 components: greeting, sharing, group activity, and announcements. Greeting. At the start of each meeting, students and the teacher greet one another, ensuring that each student is welcomed and has an opportunity to interact with each other right away. Sharing. A small group of students have the opportunity to share something about themselves, their concerns within the classroom, or even within the larger community, providing students the opportunity to get to know each other more deeply. The teacher should rotate who gets to share, ensuring each student is comfortable and prepared to share prior to the meeting. Group activity. A group activity provides an opportunity for students and the teacher to work together to solve problems or build community. Group activities can be quite varied, from a service learning project that takes place over multiple meetings to a mini lesson on a targeted social and personal competency. Announcements. The teacher and students provide important, upcoming announcements the other students need to know. As you begin to implement morning meetings, be purposeful as you plan them and ensure that you and the students are ready to engage in them, as many times morning meetings or advisories do not have the expected effects because they are not implemented as intended. You should introduce morning meetings or advisory periods to students over time, allowing students to learn the expectations of each component of the meeting. For example, it may take a week to get used to the greeting component. Morning meetings or advisories are opportunities to form better relationships with your students. So it is critical that you create an environment in which students want to open up and share about their lives and develop the social and personal competencies they need to actively engage in the meetings, such as active listening, teamwork, help-seeking behaviors, and perspective taking. There are multiple indicators of a supportive classroom environment. One indicator might be characterized as academic, where highly effective educators engage all students through the provision of differentiated instructional strategies and assessments for learning. Therefore, students have more options for demonstrating mastery. Other indicators might be characterized as more material or aesthetic and include classroom design for safety, security, and comfort. In this type of environment, the opportunity for academic success increases because meeting the student's social and personal competency needs allows for greater focus and commitment to learning. Characteristics of a warm and supportive classroom environment include the recognition of each student's value and contribution to the learning environment, a consistently positive classroom climate or culture, delivery of an engaging and relevant curriculum, use of structures and processes enabling each student to feel safe, at least one caring adult and a caring peer community for each student. Students who are risk takers and are comfortable sharing ideas, including concerns. And a team approach to learning, a win-win philosophy. Classroom procedures such as meetings and advisories also contribute to a warm and supportive classroom by helping to ensure a sense of consistent classroom procedures, positive feelings, class community, and relationships with other students and the teacher. Handout 3, Planning for Warmth and Support, provides you with a planning template, guiding questions, resources, and a section to write your notes as you plan to deliver a lesson with embedded warmth and support strategies. Consider these additional tips to ensure effective implementation of warmth and support in your classroom. Select a venue to introduce and practice this strategy. Model the strategy by using good and not so good examples. Select a topic or multiple topics that reflect student interests. Allow time for student-to-student interactions. Monitor student conversations to listen for their use of warmth and support strategies. Acknowledge student use of the strategy. Provide feedback to reinforce the practice strategy. Please take a few minutes to reflect on what you know about warmth and support practices and respond to the questions on Handout 3. Table 1 provides a template with prompts to help you plan your implementation of warmth and support practices. Warmth and support strategies are used with students of all ages and abilities in a variety of situations across subject areas and for different purposes. Teachers who plan to implement warmth and support strategies need to understand their students' background and current knowledge to prepare and deliver lessons that reflect students' interests, to design class activities which promote students' social and personal competencies, and to facilitate class meetings or advisory groups. Well-planned warmth and support strategies help to improve school climate and classroom interactions in a way that promotes students' social and personal competencies and prepares students for success in the classroom and school, as well as in the world and workforce. To help you plan for using warmth and support strategies more effectively in your class, complete the final handout, Handout 4, Warmth and Support Reflection and Additional Information. It contains questions for reflection that can lead to concrete action steps to impact your use of warmth and support. This handout also provides additional resources that you can call on to find more information about warmth and support, as well as the references cited in the module's facilitator guide. As you consider your own plan of action, keep in mind the following helpful hints. 1. Set a goal. Identify realistic goals for yourself in implementing warmth and support strategies in your classroom. Also, be mindful of what warmth and support strategies may look like depending on your students and the grade and subject you teach. Ask yourself if you need to teach students how to use this social and personal competency strategy. In what ways will you model the desired behavior? 2. Involve students. As you learn more about your students' interests, explore ways to incorporate their interests into lesson plans, class activities, and individual and group work. 3. Be reflective. Based on the benefits associated with the warm and supportive classroom, what changes do you plan to make in planning, implementing, and evaluating warmth and support in your classes? How will you know if the changes you make are beneficial to your students? If you are reviewing this information to better understand the team rubric, consider how you might share your action steps with coaches, mentor teachers, administrators, or those who might observe your class. They will benefit from knowing your efforts and may be able to provide feedback on your actions. The Tennessee Department of Education developed this online module in collaboration with the Center on Great Teachers and Leaders and the Appalachia Regional Comprehensive Center, which are funded by the U.S. Department of Education. If you want to find out more information about the online modules or social and personal competencies, please contact the Tennessee Department of Education's Division of Special Populations and Student Support. Thank you again for participating in the Warmth and Support online module. We encourage you to complete the online evaluation of the learning module. We also encourage you to review the other online modules that provide knowledge, tools, resources, and strategies to embed social and personal competencies within your classes.